come from the gay community, who need, and hopefully there's more, there are younger gay rights activists who are discussing it amongst themselves, and they have to realise they've got to stand up in a stronger way. I think whenever an issue to do with them comes,
it is your right, and you must stand up for yourself. Unless other people cannot help you, right? Cannot totally stand in your place to help you.
I think one thing that the conservative Christian have the problem. They say devils is in the details, and they start from the assumption that those gay activists is going to they are going to the next step of gay marriage. So they stop in the stage right here and being so extreme. So
my view is there is no question about this. Certainly, the gay people would certainly after this want to have the gay marriage legalized. But that is another matter.
Yeah.
You got to understand this is another matter. For this matter, even the Christians must understand that there is the fundamental human rights axiom that you cannot contradict.
Yeah. I think it's also the ideology of a quote they have been using throughout the lexical, that devil is in the details.
That's a good expression, actually. Devil in the detail.
Devil in the detail, yeah.
But explain. I mean, that's exactly what's happening, in particular to do with this domestic violence law. The devil is in the details. The small print.
I must say that if you don't pass this law, including the gay people, the devil is in in every gay couple's home.
Yeah.
Right. That means their domestic violence would not be protected.
Yeah. And how are we doing for time? Are we going to have a break and we've got a couple of minutes, have we? Yeah. All right. I mean, as regards the whole issue to do with gay rights, what more can be done? I think to encourage gay rights activists to stand up in a stronger and a bigger way in Hong Kong.
Well, I think that is a very tricky question, because it's only for 1 or 2 years I have been involved with some gay people and maybe speaking in some gay church, and I found that the gay people as a whole, just like the average Hong Kong people, are quite inert in defending their own rights and advancing their own cause. They are still just bowing their head down and only just want to have some breathing space for themselves. But rather than trying to come out and united together in order to fight a common cause. To make the society change. In the sense, they are not going for change, they are just going for breathing space.
That's right, yeah.
That's sad.
I mean, as a foreign activist, I'm disappointed a bit that what's happening in Hong Kong, because obviously the whole issue to do with gay rights and gay marriage is constantly debated in the Western world, but it's not really happening in quite the same way here in Hong Kong.
It's basically not debated.
Maybe Matt, in the first part of in the very beginning of the part 2, maybe you can talk about the gay activists in the UK.
All right,
Because I see a lot of gay and lesbian pub in London all around, and people can walk openly and freely on the street.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Not in Hong Kong. It's all in discrimination.
You can see them eating together, dining together in Wong Kei, in the Gerrard Street.
Even kids in the Piccadilly Circus.
All right. So we have a break. Yep. Okay.
And
speak to you in a minute.
Come back, in the part 2.
Mama rafiki Bakieni muzuri Watoto yote yetu Bakieni muzuri Baba mama rafiki Bakieni muzuri Tunapenda we Akisafi sana Tunapenda we Akisafi sana Aiye hamwana Inakwenda kwetu marafiki. Bakieni muzuri. Watoto yote yetu. Bakieni muzuri. Baba mama rafiki. Bakieni muzuri. Tunapenda we. Akisanti sana. Tunapenda we. Akisanti sana.
Okay, so I think that was a bit of music that was called African disco, which is a kind of it speaks for itself, African music, but with a disco element to it. So it was a bit different. And in future shows, I'm going to bring in and get you guys listening to some different music from all over the world. So we're just finishing on that conversation to do with gay rights, and I think Ken was asking me what it'd be like to be a gay person in the UK, for example, and how it is different. But just to give you an idea of how different it is and how much more open it is, there are areas of London, or all the big cities, and I know, for example, in Manchester, there's a famous street called Canal Street. That whole street where there's gay bars and restaurants, and it's very open, and it's often, and also in areas of London around Soho. And it's very open, and but it's not just a ghetto or pocket for gay and lesbians. It's very mixed, and a lot of heterosexual people and friends, and tourists, and tourists would go there, and it's got quite a sort of happy, a very pleasant atmosphere in that sense. And there's nowhere quite like that in Hong Kong where it's going on like that. And but hopefully, in the future, that's something that gay rights activists and the movement and gay businesses, that they hopefully need to push for in the future, because there's definitely a market for it. In terms of business, there's a market for it. But it's just a matter of the gay rights movement promoting that thing. And I was pleased that I think a month or two back there was a gay pride march in Causeway Bay I read about, which was actually got quite a bit of there was quite a bit of coverage and quite a quite a big turnout, and that kind of thing needs to be encouraged more, I think, and that's a good sign, I think. And the gay rights community shouldn't be afraid of getting out there and being seen, I think.
And I think also for the heterosexual people, I mean the straight people, right? I think they should distinguish between that. I stand up for the gay and lesbian people doesn't mean that I am gay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can tell you frankly, I disagree with gay. But actually, I totally support they have the right to speak up for themselves. They have the freedom of speech. They are the minority. We should respect them, even though we disagree with them. Right? So, but in Hong Kong, I mean, in general public, what all they do about is discriminating, and they say they told many stories that on the magazine that gay people spread AIDS and everything. Sure. But you can say that even heterosexual normal sex also carry AIDS. Right?
Sure.
But they mix everything together, and then they say, and with the support of conservative Christian and extreme conservative Christian groups, and obviously what I could see is that probably, I don't know, maybe DAB or some pro-government political power, they